Hi, what's up? What's going on? How are the haters today? My haters are actually, they're doing well. My haters are doing well, but guess what? At approximately 12 p.m. today, I will be destroying them. I will be absolutely annihilating them in a war. And the war is also known as the anthro midterm. But actually, this review is going to be way more interesting than my bio one. Well, my bio one was interesting, but the anthro, this one's anthro, so it's going to be way more interesting because it's about humans and not. Well, like bio is about humans too, but I'm talking about like, I guess since we'll be talking about social problems and like human stuff, I guess it's a lot more like easier concepts and easier to talk about. So yeah, I have already finished pretty much all of the modules but except for 6 and 7, so I'll be talking about those, and then towards the end I'll start working on those notes, and then I'll go over that. But anyways, we'll start with module 1, and it's just like a little overview. Oh, and by the way, I'm finishing off my for the day, so I will be talking a little bit slowly and then I'll get into it a little bit more as I start finishing up whatever I'm doing right now. So, anthropology is the study of humans, and there's 4 ways, I believe. There's a couple of different ways to approach anthropology. And the first one is holistically, and this is basically looking at everything we know about humans, all of the data and whatsoever. And we could also comparing similarity and difference in like each of the cultures and the societies and the populations and whatnot. And then you could also have a direct data collection. And then you could also look at evolution. So those are 4 ways to approach anthropology from different areas. Okay, and then there's different subfields of anthropology. So we have biological anthropology, and 2 examples of this is paleoanthropology and primatology. So Dr. Jane Goodall is a good example of that. He studies primates. And we also have cultural anthropology, so studying like social organization, stuff like that. And then we have archaeology, so we have prehistorical archaeology, marine archaeology, we have biblical and such. And then we got linguistic anthropology, and this is basically studying communications and how language affects like culture and populations, and this is also known as sociolinguistics. And those are the 4 subfields of anthro, but if you combine them both together, it's called applied anthropology, and this is basically using all 4 subfields to create a change in the world. So there, you could use it for like medical reasons, you could use it for forensic reasons, cultural resource management, and stuff like that. So we're gonna move on from just the broad, anthropology. So now we're gonna move on to culture. And what is culture? Culture is basically a system of like learned societal beliefs, traditions, customs, and ideas. And the characteristics of culture is first and foremost, and the most importantly, is learned. So humans are biocultural, meaning like we are not born knowing culture. We are born with the ability to learn culture. And the learning culture, I believe, is called enculturation. I'm not sure though. Yeah, it's called enculturation. So yeah. The other thing about culture is it's symbolic. So an anthropologist named Clifford Geertz said that symbols are plans, recipes, rules, and instructions that guide human behavior. So yes, culture is learned and symbolic, and it's also shared, and it's also integrated and holistic. So it's like a pattern system with core values. So yeah, you can't change one part of culture without changing another. So for example, like marriage. Like if marriage is part of a culture, I mean, here, let me put it this way. If religion and Christianity is part of a culture, obviously there's going to be marriage stressed part of that culture, you know. Okay. And then there's three types of culture. There's universal culture, so this is literally everywhere, you find it everywhere. So examples of those are prolonged infant dependency and some type of family community and stuff like that. And then we have particular culture. No, we have general culture. So this applies to some cultures and like sometimes, but not all cultures at all times, you know. And example is nuclear family with like parents and children. And the thing that makes a culture general and why some things are general is because like it could be inherited from like an ancestor, it could be a result of dominance, like political dominance, or it could be a process of cultural borrowing, also known as diffusion. And then we have particular culture. So this is confined to a single group, but I will say this is becoming less and less popular because of globalization. And that's just like basically like how everything's becoming more and more together, like social media and everybody just talking to each other more, the ability for us to travel and learn new things now. It's really allowing us to learn about different cultures, adapt, borrow, stuff like that. Okay, and so we're gonna move on to ethnology now. So ethnology is the study of different groups and of the different groups, their customs and behaviors. And I will say we have a bias to talk about. Ethnocentrism is using individual standards to value other cultures and judge other cultures based off of your individual values. And that's not cool. Well, I mean, like, if you think it's cool, then I guess it's cool subjectively from your standpoint. But guess what? It could be harmful, and you have a little bias there, my friend. You got a little bias, and we don't like biases. We don't want to be a biased person, you know. I am a biased person, but like on certain things. Like for example, I hate Cheeto Puffs. I like regular Cheetos. So I believe that's a fair bias to have, and I don't think I should be canceled for that. So don't even say that. But I'm saying like there's other things that could, hurt people, or like have give you a wrong idea of what things are in life, and that's the bias that you don't want to have. But I know that my bias on Cheetos is not the wrong idea, and nobody should correct me, and I'm always right. So don't even go there. But, anyways, we're going to move on to cultural appropriation. So, this is using an aspect of someone's heritage or culture without permission in a demeaning or like an inappropriate, harmful, insulting way. And we don't like that either. We don't like cultural appropriation. For example, I'm Vietnamese, and our official dress is áo dài, and I saw somebody wearing it, and they weren't wearing any pants. Like they were like sexualizing it, and it made me sad because I was like, "Where are your pants, my girl? Like, where are your pants?" The pants are what makes the dress so pretty because it makes it really more flowy. But I'm like, girl, all I see is leg. Oh no, man. It was definitely an experience for sure, but yeah, I didn't like that. Anyways, we have cultural relativism, which is basically like combating ethnocentrism, which means so this is like evaluating culture within the target culture's context. So you're kind of like trying to be more empathetic and look at it from their context and from their point of view. So yeah. Side notes, we got human rights, which are based off of justice and morality, and cultural rights, which are based off of like ethnic and religious beliefs. They oftentimes don't like really align with each other, and there's like complications between those two. There's a lot of mechanisms of cultural change. So why does culture change? We got acculturation, which is the ongoing exchange of culture. So like music, food, clothes, going on every day, any hour, any minute. And we got independent invention, which is like, oh, sorry. Independent invention is just basically humans creating like solutions to problems, like, for example, like some I don't know, some distinct tribe creates farming, or not farming, but like, they they adapt the process of like hunting or farming or agriculture. Well, it's probably not going to be like original, because there's going to be some other tribe out there or some other people out there who've done the same thing, because they have the same problem. They want food, so they have to find a way to do it, and so they independently invent their own little things. Okay, and then lastly, we have globalization, which are processes that promote change. So, for example, we got production and distribution. So, like, just basically like civil and just economical processes that kind of like they kind of like not force, but they require an exchange of culture and resources, basically, of different places and countries. And I will say, the one thing to keep in mind about this test is my test about the Nasarima or whatever, and that's about the article that we read earlier on about basically it was this article that talked about the Nasarima, which is basically like there were these people back then, and they have the really weird practice of, like pulling out teeth, and like it was just a whole bunch of like really strange rituals, and they were really, and basically the sorry, I can't explain anything, I'm trying to focus on my eyelashes, but basically the main focus and how the author painted the story out in the article was that like the Nasarima really found that like pain is beauty, and that they really liked to, you know, do painful procedures, do painful procedures for their beauty and health procedures. And turns out in the end they were talking about Americans. Yeah, talking about Americans. And basically this stresses the importance of how you frame the culture that you're studying and the culture that you're talking about. Because if you frame it in a bad light, people will obviously see it in a bad way. So, like for example, like with the terrible like teeth pulling, or like I don't know, teeth stabbing or whatever. It was just brushing our teeth. We aren't stabbing our teeth. Technically we kind of are, and sometimes brushing our teeth could be potentially hurtful, but like we're not stabbing our teeth. But that's the thing. If you look at a different culture and it looks unfamiliar, you might see it in a bad light if you don't understand it from their context. So of course, maybe like to a culture that doesn't brush their teeth, which is nasty. Well, actually, let's not say that's nasty, because maybe I need to see it from their context. Maybe they don't brush their teeth because they have, I don't know, gamma radiation for the teeth. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, just evaluate people's cultures in a very neutral and understanding type of way instead of judging. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna move on to module 2. See, it's so quicker than freaking bio, because it took like an hour to get through a chapter. I'm just kidding. More like, I don't know, 30 minutes. But module 2 is about methods in anthropology. Like, kind of like how to conduct anthropology, how to go about the studies. So, anthropology is a science, and a science is basically a type of knowledge that's gained from observation and experimentation. So, a few things about science: there's material, so like facts, hard evidence, and then there's inferred evidence, which is basically namesake, it's inferred from the material evidence. And then, of course, we have qualitative and quantitative data, and we have basically any science follows a scientific process or method, and it stems from a hypothesis that is both testable and falsifiable. And a theory must be refutable, replicable, general, and bounded. and you can either deduct a confirmation from a theory, or you could induct a theory from an observation. So it goes from So deduction is going from broad to specific, and induction is specific to broad. We got interdisciplinary data. There's multiple types of different data that you could use from anthropology. And the first one is we use molecular anthropology. So this is analyzing DNA isotopes and basically ancestors, stuff like that. We got paleopathology, which is info for like disease from like bone growth and decay. So like basically finding out information from like dead people remains. And then we got forensic anthropology, which is the main goal is to recover, analyze, and identify the remains of humans. And then we got archaeology, which includes like ancient fossils, roads, etc. Okay, so we got two types of dating. And no, I'm not talking about the dating that all of y'all girls are doing that's literally destroying your life because the man you're with is toxic. I'm not talking about that kind of dating. I'm talking about dating that actually does something for you, you know? We can talk about relative and absolute dating. And so we're going to first go to stratigraphy, which is kind of a part of relative dating, which basically establishes a time frame with relation to demarcated layers of the earth, also known as strata. So basically like how the earth changes and different layers and like different changes, it kind of like shows you kind of like a really long range, like a time frame. So that's called relative dating. But absolute dating actually gives you a date. So absolute dating, also known as radiometric technique, this establishes actual dates and numbers and ranges. So for example, we got carbon-14, or we also got potassium argon dating and stuff like that. Those actually provide you with actual numbers, unlike most of you with your girlfriends who don't be giving you no numbers, but that's just you, I guess. I don't want to like interrupt anything. I just want to like say, like, girl, you gotta get your life together. Some of these stories I've been hearing, I don't know. Anyways, ethnography is a written or recorded description of a society's mannerisms. So we got participant observation, which is like a part of ethnography. So this is when you're like actually living and participating in that specific culture, and you're doing that with the intention of studying. Goal? It starts with a P, I think. With the intention, with the goal, with the... Well, it's bothering me that I don't know what word for it. Purpose. Yeah. Inspiration. Goal. Intention. Dedication. Purpose. Plan. Ingenuity. Okay, I'm gonna start focusing. Okay. And we got two types of, I don't know, but like I just know the words, but it's called emic and etic. Emic is how local people think, the perspective, I guess two types of perspective. So the emic perspective is how local people think, or like the people in the culture think, and the etic is more like scientist focused, and it's oriented to like the observers, like notices or what they think about, like their perspective basically. So we got two types, or not two. There's like one, two, three, four. Yeah, four types of observation methods. We got a face-to-face interview. We got genealogical diagramming. So we got like basically it's like diagramming your kinship, descent, or marriage. And then we got cultural consultants. Sorry, and then we got the personal life history of the observer who lives in the culture themselves. So it's about a little bit of ethics in anthropology. So basically, anthropologists should include colleagues in planning, sharing, publishing results, establish true collaborative relationships with colleagues, and give back to the host country. We got this act called NAGPRA, which is the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act, and this is established to create ownership of North American artifacts found on tribal land. So basically, like a lot of museums just kind of like took them and like started to display them, but this ordered like a return of those Native American artifacts because they actually belong to them. And we got the AAA Code of Ethics. So this lays out that anthropologists cannot do any harm. They have to be open and honest. They have to obtain informed consent for their field work, and they have to weigh ethical obligations, make results accessible, preserve records, and maintain respectful and ethical professional relationships. 20 minutes, we're done with 2 chapters. Let's go. Let's go on more. Let's go to the next one, which is Module 3, Applying Anthropology. And this one's a pretty short module, which is going to know about 3 types of like ways that we can apply anthropology. And we have first cultural resource management, which is CRM. And this is aimed at preserving sites threatened by development to protect and preserve our history. Yeah. And this is a lot, so give me a second. Oh dear. Okay. And yeah, so examples of these are field and lab techs, historians, archaeology project managers, and archaeology reviewers. And basically, yeah, it's basically trying to preserve and protect our history, our past. You know, because you don't want to repeat the past, but you kind of do want to repeat the past in like a preservation standpoint, because if you don't repeat the past, how are you going to know what you don't want to repeat? You know, that sounds dumb. If you don't preserve the past, how do you know what you don't want to repeat? Anyways, oh man, I am hungry. I need to go to campus and get a snack. This is not okay. This hunger just hit me so hard. Oh gosh, I need breakfast. I need lunch. I need I need brunch. What time is it? It's 8:30. It's not time for brunch, Nini. Anyways, man, that hunger hit me hard, man. I don't know why that hunger hit me so hard. Like, I would rather my hunger hit me like, oh, I'm a little hungry. Yeah, I'm a little hungry. No, this one was like, oh, I woke up okay. I'm gonna do my stream. I'm gonna do my makeup. I'm gonna be like perfect, you know, everything's gonna be perfect. I'm gonna go to campus. No, it just hit me like straight up like, oh, Nini, now you're starving. Like, I'd rather go like, oh, I'm a little hungry, I want a snack. Oh, now I'm a little hungry, I kind of want a meal. Oh, now I want a meal. No, this is like, I want a feast, you know? And it's not really going well right now because I'm like, I can't really have a feast when I'm like doing my lecture stream. That's not good. I'm crying now. Like, my body hates me. It's always like the time that I don't need to eat when I finally want to eat. And yeah, anyways, module 3, cultural resource management, done. Okay, now we have forensic anthropology, which is using archaeology and osteology in a medical or legal setting to solve crimes. And I actually am really interested in this. So yeah, that's really cool. Anyways, this is one of a few of the ways that you can reconstruct life from just looking at bones in general. So you can look at the bone size and like the height of the dead person to determine the sex and age of them. And there's also disease marks that can be shown on the skeleton and teeth. You can look at the person's medical records and also the fractures and just anything like broken or just dents, tears, stuff like that on their bones can show whatever injuries they had, which could identify possibly the cause of death. And also, you could look at the bone development and see if, like, what kind of nutrition they had, because, like, what if you didn't eat? Like me, like, whenever I feel like starved, like I do right now, I feel like my bones are in a deteriorative state, right? I'm deteriorating, I'm aging, I am ancient, I am geriatric, I am elderly, I am wise, I am your mentor, you know? Like I feel the osteoporosis flaring up, and that's when I start feeling smarter because what type of grandmother isn't smart, what type of person who's about to die isn't like at their peak mental state right now. Well, it's peak mental state, but it's also like not peak mental state because they also have like dementia. So it's like I could it's either like pick your struggle, either be dumb, young, dumb and broke, or old, rich and have dementia, and also be wise, but like you also have dementia. That's like basically dementia is like my point, is what I'm trying to say. But anyways, we're gonna move on to the next module. Oh, we're not gonna move on to the next module because I didn't even get to finish. Okay, medical anthropology is studying health in a cross-cultural perspective. Okay, so I found this really interesting. I didn't know this, but like studying health in a cross-cultural perspective, literally, like I read in this lecture that illness is like socially constructed and health is definitely like a biocultural phenomenon. Like what other people see as sick might not what you see as sick. For example, like mental health, or like I don't know, like certain things that you do might be seen by other people as like I don't know, like oh, you're like putting way too much on yourself or something like that. But for certain cultures, it's like definitely just a normal thing, So like a lot of people say that like this and that is abuse, this is abuse, that is abuse. But honestly, like some things like people are just perfectly fine with and like that's just healthy. And I'm not just talking about like I'm not just talking about like helicopter parenting. I'm talking about like both that, but also like negligent parentism. Both of those could be possibly like identified as abuse. But anyways, module 4, evolutionary theory. So we'll move less on like kind of like the of anthropology, and now we're going to move on to the evolutionary theory. So basically, early Western culture, it relied on creationism, which is basically relying on the idea that God created the universe and Adam and Eve and stuff like that. And it stemmed from a Greek Roman philosophy and Judeo-Christian Islamic theology. And it has the two concepts I'm talking about. We got the great chain of being, which means like it basically lays out that all life is hierarchical, and we also got essentialism, which means like life doesn't change from its essential form. So like we don't change, Earth doesn't change, stuff like that. There's some really interesting people. They're all men, and they're all pretty interesting. So let's get into it. So we got Carl Linnaeus, and he created taxonomy, which is a system of classifying organisms. You got Jean-Baptiste Lamarck. I don't know. French popping out. Anyways, he basically produced a theory of evolution based off of like an individual changes during life. Uh, Often it's like evolution occurs like through populations and as a whole, but I wasn't talking to you, Siri. What did I say? What did I say to like trigger Siri? Anyways, the the theory that he kind of like vouched for was not really supported by people nowadays, because basically like nowadays the theory of evolution says that like you or like evolution happens like within populations or like through groups and not just individually, you know. But that's what he said. And then we got James Hutton, which he introduced uniformitarianism, which means earth like the earth's change is continuous and dynamic, so it's like always changing and stuff like that. Like the processes that like promote earth's change, they're always like continuous and stuff like that. We got Charles Lyell. So the hardest part of this test is going to be like these people, because I honestly kind of don't care. But I mean, I care about what they did. I just don't care about like knowing whatever the names are. But I guess because they did something important. Like if I discovered cancer, I mean, no, if I discovered the cure for cancer, I'm sorry, like the cure, like the easy cure for cancer, I would definitely want to be known, you know. But oh no, like I feel like there should be a woman in there somewhere. Like it just makes it more interesting, you know. Like tell me something interesting about them. I guess this is supposed to be the interesting thing. Anyways, Charles Lyell, he's the father of geology. He believed Earth shaped by slow forces. He influenced Darwin a lot. And who's Darwin? Charles Darwin. He proposed the theory of evolution through natural selection. Yeah, he's pretty cool about evolution and stuff. We also have Alfred Russel Wallace. He had the same belief as Darwin, and he actually studied like organisms in the Amazon River and the Malay archipelago, I think. Yeah. Okay. So we'll talk about the modern synthesis, which is basically the modern idea of evolution. So it not only includes natural selection, but also genetic evolution. So before we get into like the genetic processes, we're gonna talk about like a little bit like a little like list of words that we need to know. So we got deoxyribonucleic acid, which is the DNA, which we already know what that is, Nini, because you're in STEM, so don't even get into it. So, you know, DNA is responsible for replication and protein synthesis, you know, getting down our genes and stuff like that. And we also got mitosis and meiosis, the two processes of life. And then we have genes, which are the basic unit of construction in our bodies. And it is also the basic unit of construction on my body, because I'm in the South and Southerners wear jeans, and that's just the basic unit of an outfit construction. So yeah. So either way, it's a basic unit of construction. We also got alleles, which are alternative forms of our genes. So the genetic processes of evolution. We got mutation, which is a permanent alteration. I would say alteration in our DNA sequence, and it's usually the primary way that genetic diversity is introduced into the population. We got natural selection, of course, which is like when certain traits become more or less common based off of like how favorable they are through like reproduction and, you know, survival and stuff like that, survival of the fittest, stuff like that. We got gene flow, which is the movement of DNA between populations through like either migration or like mating, stuff like that. And then we also got genetic drift. So this is kind of like a big subject. It's not super big, but I'll explain it. Give me a second. Okay. You know, I've been getting like DMs because I did the AI thing, the my AI, like here. I'll show you. I'm getting off track, but it's okay. I like have a few hours. Like, I've been getting DMs saying, like, it does look like me, but I don't think it looks like me, bro. Look at that. It's not me, bro. That's not me. I was like so expectant. I was like so excited for whatever was gonna go on. No, it wasn't anything interesting. It was just disappointment. It's whatever. I don't care. So, here, let me put these things away. And then almost done. So it's gonna be less distracting. Okay. So we got genetic drift. Oh yeah. So okay, so this is a big subject. I already said that, but genetic drift is basically like a a change in genetic variation in a population due to like random events, like a random event. So it's also known as the bottleneck effect, and the founder effect is a specific example or a specific scenario of the bottleneck effect in which like there's the population of people is so severely like diminished and the number has gone down so much that the descendant population is like descended from like a small number of founders, you know. That's why it's called the founder effect, because like there's founders. Like it's so like it becomes so small, you know. So I would say an example is kind of like pilgrims, I guess, because well, I wouldn't like they didn't die, but like the population of the Brits that came to the U.S. were so small that those people were like the founders, kind of like not the founding fathers, but also the founding mothers, you know, because without a mother, you're not gonna have kids. Ow, 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 ow. And you could say like, oh, you could have one without a father too. No, bro. You wait. Yeah, women can have kids without fathers because you see it happen all the time. But also, we just need sperm. We don't need like an actual human like we don't need a human bro. You know? Like our bodies are really cool. We like can have pregnancy, and like you need an actual like woman to be pregnant or like to have a kid. Anyways, we got some non-genetic processes in addition to the genetic ones. So the first one I would say is developmental bias, which is like things that happen through development, like growth and stuff. Physically that influence that. So for example, like if I don't eat, I guess, like if the entire population just doesn't eat at all, we don't develop, and so like the following generations are just shorter, which is what happened to me. But I eat, but I can't grow taller because of stuff like that. This glitter is very complicated because it's like if I don't put it in the right place and it gets way too low and I get a really chunky one that's like too low, I look dumb. Which is what happened to me right now. But it's okay. I'll put some on the top. I don't look too dumb either. So move on to module 5, which is human biological variation. So HBV, which sounds like virus, but not. It's not. So don't be scared. We got Mendelian inheritance. And what is Mendelian inheritance? It is created by Gregor Mendel, and it is based off of adaptation, which is basically when humans improve through evolution and they get traits that benefit them in whatever environment they were in. So, like, you know, how hominins evolved to go on two feet and hominoids and more stuff like that I need to go over as soon as possible. Oh goodness, I hate these big chunky like glitter things because I don't know what to do with them. They're so big. Somebody's getting arrested today. I don't know if the sirens are audible, but they're there. Somebody's getting chased, somebody's getting arrested, somebody's getting a sentence today. Okay. More focused. Okay, so one allele on a gene is dominant over the recessive one in Mendelian inheritance. And we got homozygous dominant, homozygous recessive, and heterozygous, sorry. And we already know that. So genotype is a genetic makeup, and then the phenotype is physical trait. And then the genetic inheritance, we got two types, okay? We got monogenic traits, which means it's one gene controlling for one or more traits. It's controlled on one single locus. And the recessive is masked and the dominant trait is expressed. And these are discrete traits, and they're either like present or absent, and they occur in like small, medium, or large presence. So, for example, there's freckles and blood type. You either have freckles or you don't. And I do not. So yeah. So you see like how like the big sparkles, like they definitely stand out on camera more, and I like how the bottom lid goes, but I don't like the top lid having that big sparkle. I don't know. But the thing is, like, now that I have it on, I don't know how to take it off. It's like, it's not take-offable. Rest in peace to him, by the way. He was a good rapper. Now the Migos will never be the same. I really like Takeoff. I liked his raps and his verses. Well, I still like them, but I'm saying, like, it's sad. Okay, I'm putting on way too much, but guess what? You know what? I don't care. I do not care. I'm a glitter girl. I am a shameless glitter girl. So I should have no shame. Okay, but I am done though. Like, I can't put on anymore. This is not good for my health or for anybody's health, just to be like, why is that girl so shiny, sparkly, bro? Like, she has no business going out and about doing stuff like that. And that's right, I don't have any business going out and about doing stuff like that. But really though, I need to get back on track. I say that and then I go on Instagram. But give me a second. I'm about to cough again. Oh, goodness. Anyways, we'll go back to, I don't know where I was at. Oh yeah, I finished the monogenic traits, and then now we're gonna go on to the polygenic traits. And basically, this is not like the genetic inheritance of like the monogenetic things, because what? Sorry, I don't understand. Oh yeah, okay. So it's just absence or presence in monogenic traits, but in polygenic traits, it's more like a variation, and there's like gradation and intermediates between two extremes. So like, like between having freckles and not having freckles. Well, I know you can't. There's no like, it doesn't exist where like you have something in between. But I'm saying like these are traits that have something in between. So for example, we got skin color and hair colors. And acclimatization is when humans physically adjust to the environmental conditions. For example, my example is hair. So like my hair bleaches, or like I think it's called blanching or whatever, in the sun, and that's an example of acclimatization, is because the skin individually physically adjusted to the environmental conditions, which is the sun. And also I tan, so that's another example of that. And what is happening to my hair now that we're talking about it? Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about skin pigmentation. So all humans have the same number of melanocytes, but darker skin produces more melanin. And this is skin color, and melanin, I guess, is measured through reflectometry. So there's two hypotheses where like that like explain the pigmentation of hair, or not hair, sorry, skin. So we got vitamin D and we got folate. My voice is terrible right now. So the vitamin D hypothesis is like when diets, so like the diet's high on vitamin D, also migration from like the high UV covered areas of like Arctic populations. It explains like darker skin retained in North America, because there's like, sorry, trying to see. Okay. And the folate hypothesis is dark skin may have evolved to retain folate, which is depleted in lighter skin when exposed to UV radiation. So, like, dark skin may have evolved from basically the UV radiation in Arctic populations, and also from like retaining folate, because white people have less folate whenever they are exposed to UV radiation. So it's really important that we stress that race is a social construct and not a discrete example of genetic variation, and it's harmful to attribute social stereotypes to phenotypic traits. Sorry, I didn't know how to write that. Racial classification or typology is subjective, and racial traits are continuous, not discrete. Okay, now that I'm done with all 5 modules, we're gonna move on to the other 2. I will like shut up like I did last night. Oh wait, we got a misconception. Let me see. Oh, sorry. Oh, she's talking. I don't want to. I don't want to hear. Okay, so one myth, I guess, is that humans evolution is like humans adapting to their environment, which I guess is a myth. Well, like evolution, I wouldn't say that's adapting. I'd just say like it's just a passing on of traits or whatever. But what is going on with my eye glitter? Oh my gosh. Please. Okay, I finally took it off because it was like so big. It's like distracting me in the mirror. Okay. It's not survival of the fittest, apparently. Well, okay, I get it, because survival of the fittest is what makes certain traits more favorable, but reproduction is what causes evolution, not surviving. Okay, well. Okay, well, this video, I don't like videos like these because it's like so long. Like, can you just get to it? I like it when like a video like sums it up in the beginning and then finally explains it and then sums it up in the end again. But it's not doing that. So I don't like that. That's not cool. I don't like it when it does that. It makes it more complicated for me at least. Okay, well now I have to write notes on the primates. Oh, I don't care. I will read through my notes. Here, that's what I'm gonna do. We'll read through my notes and then I will complete the study guide. Okay, wait. Here, let me map my day out. So it's 9, right? It's 9. And then wait a second. It's 9. And then if my test is at 12. I gave myself a window of 9 to 11. So this is when my stream was supposed to start, and then I was supposed to do my notes at 8 to 9. So since I started already early, I'm gonna here. I have 2 hours. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna should I do that or should I? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna group my study guide to like a better. I hate this format. I'm gonna group my study guide, and then I'm gonna go through my notes in that order instead of writing it out again because I was way too lazy last night. I should have been better at doing that. Now I have to. Now it's all unorganized. It's okay. Wait, but I do want to get breakfast. So actually, we have an hour. Okay, yeah, that'll work. Give me a second. Whoa, where's my notebook? Okay, since I'm done with this, I don't know this. Sure. Okay. Ouch. Okay. I'm gonna be quiet for a bit so I can group this. Oh, I need a pencil. Anthropomorphism. How about I just read the modules? Like, actually, I'm not gonna read my notes. Actually, no. I'm acting up. I don't know what to do in an hour. Okay. We're just gonna read the module, okay? We're just gonna go over the module. We're not gonna even worry about whatever's going. Okay. So, what does it mean? We're gonna talk about primates, by the way, for module 6. What does it mean to be a primate? The term primate derives from Latin, the Latin word for of the first rank, meaning that these creatures have a higher order than other life forms. So yeah. So primatologists achieve insights to human evolution through comparisons to other primate species. However, researchers must guard against anthropomorphism or the imposition of human characteristics on non-human animals. So yeah. So don't impose human characteristics on non-human animals. So yeah. Cool. Moving on, we got So basically, homology is a shared derived characteristics based on ancestries, but homoplasy is a characteristic shared by a set of species but not present in their common ancestor. So it's like derived, but it's not it's not from ancestry for sure. So yeah. So yeah, homoplasy is a result of convergent evolution, which is different unrelated species evolved to have similar characteristics, right? Right. Okay. I think that was literally it. But I was just gonna go over the primate characteristics. So first we got we got visual acuity, and we got body function and modification, and then we got dietary adaptations, we got complex brains, we got parental is different than parental. Anyways, investment and social adaptation. So this visual acuity is basically like primates in general have like really good vision, and they're not reliant on smell. and stereoscopic vision is really like important. I don't know why stereoscopic. I don't know what that means. The stereoscopic vision mean like it's just more okay. 3D shapes, being able to register depth and like dimension. So it's really important for us, especially like primates in general, because we are diurnal, which means like we live in the daytime and sleep during the night times, as opposed to nocturnal, you know. And yeah, it's really important because of course monkeys have to swing between branches and we have to like pick things up and stuff like that. So, yeah, another primate adaptation is locomotion, which is like how we move around. So we got prehensile hands, so like grasping, and we got like a big thumb, like opposable thumb, 5 digits. That's an ancestral trait. Sorry, we got dermal pads and ridges at the end of their fingers, toes, and sometimes tails. Primates have a tactile pads with sensory nerve fibers that provide a highly developed sense of touch. So like right here, these tactile organs allow them to feel and grasp for branches. of course, I already went over this, but an opposable thumb. And a partially opposable big toe. Not us, not Homo sapiens, but most primates do. And arm swinging or brachiation is exclusive among apes. And the collarbones or clavicles provide greater stability during mobility. So yeah. And the prehensile tails, which allow for grasping, are found only among some of the New World monkeys as an aid to locomotion. Other monkeys have non-prehensile tails for balance. So, that orangutan kind of looks freaky. I kind of don't want to look at that. That's a sight that I do not want to see again. Please do not reintroduce that into my lectures, please. Anyways, New World monkeys and Old World monkeys, I would say one big difference is Old World's tails are not prehensile, but the New World ones are. So we got dietary adaptations. Primates are generally omnivores, and they eat a combination of fruits, leaves, and insects. Some primates, like lemurs, they eat gum, saps, and resins, and they have specialized teeth. Really nice for that. Anyways, yeah. Primates have 4 types of teeth: incisors, canines, premolars, and molars. I guess these are incisors, canines, premolar, and a molar in the back. And see this. Okay, so our maxilla, I don't know what that means. I think that means like top of the mouth. We have a dental formula characteristic of old world monkeys, apes, and humans. And I guess there's a genus called Cebus. Anyways, it shows the dental formula of New World monkeys. So we have old world monkey tooth layouts. Our cephalic index is greater than most mammals. So it's like it increases more in higher primates. And basically, I'm saying that complex brain is a development of primates. And primates also have longer gestation times in childhoods, which often involves training to live in complex social groups. So primates tend to have fewer offspring. And so this results in each offspring having more like parental care, And they have one offspring at a time, although sometimes twins occur. And there's a long infant dependency. There's nutrition, movement, regulation of body temperature, protection from predators. Like they need a lot of caregiving. Primates also create affiliations to avoid agonism. Agonism is basically a survivalist animal behavior that involves aggression, defense, and avoidance. And primates evolve this trait, or not evolve, but like they involve this trait to avoid that, and they do it through grooming, which is like touching another individual to remove dirt, insects, debris. It's usually like a way for individuals to bond. A lot of like physical touch, of course, is bonding in like a lot of like primate lives and stuff like that. And primates generally live in social groups. Males are permanent members of a social group, and as primates enter reproductive maturity, some members leave the groups. So this process is referred to as dispersal. And now we're going to move on to the second part of Module 6, which is called Hominin Origins. What is a hominin? Oh, I'm glad you asked, because I have an answer for you. So hominins are bipedal primates that walk habitually upright, using both lower limbs. That's us. There's anatomically modern Homo sapiens. There's another like number of other species from the past that we got. So many aspects of hominin anatomy and adaptation to the environment are different from other primates, including apes, and they make us unique. So we got this. We got bipedalism. We got tool use. We got dental adaptations, and we got bigger brains, bro. We got so many big brains. So we got first. Let's touch on the bipedalism right here. So, okay, yeah, it's not too long. So, what does bipedalism allow for? It allows for an increased height. So basically, we can from an evolutionary standpoint, we can like the hominins could see above like tall savanna grasses, so they can go out farther to search for food. And our carrying ability is affected by bipedalism because now that we're walking on 2 feet, we have two other limbs that are free to do whatever we want them to do, which is like, picking up things. There's also heat efficiency, so it allowed hominins to avoid overheating by dissipating heat more efficiently with less exposure to solar radiation. So, our backs aren't as exposed to the sun, stuff like that. So, yeah. See? Let's see, like, we're going to compare the different traits of hominins or bipeds and non-bipeds, sorry. Oh yeah, so what like shows like bipedalism, I guess. So the femur of humans are angled inward, so the legs are more directly under the body. The shape of the pelvis is also basin-like, and the lower limbs are elongated. So our legs are longer than our arms and stuff like that. And the alignment of the big toe. So in bipeds, the big toe is enlarged and brought in line with the other toes. But and there's also a distinctive arch, sorry, like a foot arch. And in non-bipeds, they're like opposable. The feet, I'm saying. The foramen magnum, which is like right here, is repositioned farther underneath the skull. So for me, it's right here. For non-bipeds, it would be like up more. Well, like the thing is, their skull looks a lot more different than us. Like they look like the skull looks like a dinosaur. So like pretend I have a little snout right here, right? So the foramen magnum would be like up here. So yeah. So literally it's like on the spine, which means that there's less robust neck muscles to hold the head upright. So we don't need as many muscles to hold the head upright because our neck is doing so. Like our basically us standing up is doing so. But literally if we were to lean over all the time and walk, like just crawl around like dogs, or not like dogs, but like apes, then we would definitely need a lot more strength to hold up our heads. We also have an S-shaped curvature of the spine, while other primates don't because they have a straighter, spine. We got stone tools. Okay, so here, let's see. The earliest stone tools were discovered in Kenya, and a new Australopith species, Australopithecus garhi, was found in Ethiopia along with the earliest evidence of animal butchery. So the stone tools date back to 2.6 million years ago. So the first tools were Aldewan tools from Tanzania. And yeah, it was from Knapping, I guess, Knapping. They were created by Knapping, and this is basically breaking off sharp pieces from a core. So there's hard hammer percussion, so it like removes relatively broad flakes using a round hearted rock. And then you got core reduction, so it removes large flakes that can be reshaped into usable tools using other methods. So like you could use other so there's like this rock where you can break into other pieces that could be used as well. So like yeah. And then there's flaking, which is like using small pieces, like removing from the core. And you use a hard hammer for that. And then, yeah, it's a multi-purpose tool that you could use for crushing or smashing objects like bones, cutting, scraping. So yeah, those are the features of the all-in-one tool. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm trying to like make this as simple as possible. So large molars in early hominins facilitated chewing tough, fibrous vegetation that scavenged from the landscape. During human evolution, the reduction in tooth size was likely due to a combination of dietary changes and shifting social behavior. So let's see. In the chimpanzee, we got a sharply pointed premolar. In Australopiths, we got pointed premolar. It's not sharp, but it's pointed. And for humans, we got a bicuspid premolar, like back here. That's bicuspid. It's not too sharp. You're not going to kill yourself. So, early hominins, the dentition was like it was really big, so that their mid-facial areas were protruding like a dinosaur. So this resulted from large front teeth, and their canines were larger of those from us, like anatomically modern humans, but smaller than those of apes. So like they're kind of in the middle. And early hominins had a diastema hole, like a space, in their lower jaw that separates their larger canines from the other teeth. There's also changes. Oh, in the later hominids, we got changes in the cranium shape, continued reduction of tooth size, adaptations for grinding other than shearing. Jaws and teeth move under the cranium as the cranium became larger, and more room in the jaws that spread and developed a parabolic shape. Parabolic shape. I don't know. Parabola, but parabolic because it looks like parabolic. Okay. Okay, makes sense. So, I'm gonna skip this part and come back to it after that. So we got gracile and robust Australopiths. And you're wondering, like, what the frick are you talking about, Nani? So there's two groups of South African Australopiths, and they have a trend towards smaller front teeth and large back teeth, and it's an adaptation as to eating coarse vegetation. So there's Efferensis, Africanus, and Sedaba. These are the gracile Australopiths, and they're smaller and lighter than robust ones. And the average brain size is 490 cubic centimeters. But the robust Australopiths have a Paranthropus genus, and they're larger. And they also have sagittal crests. So let's see. I would say The afarensis looks bigger than the robustus, but the robustus looks more human. For sure. Okay. Well, just know that the gracile ones include afarensis, africanus, and sativa, and the robust ones are robustus, boise, and ethiopicus. So just know there's two A's, like afar in African. Both of them start with AF, and then there's sativa, which I don't know how to, you know. Okay, so we are going to go through 4 species of Australopiths. There's some specific examples. We got Ardipithecus ramidus. I don't know what that is. We're going to go through that. But anyways, there's yeah, okay, so this one's important to discuss, but in a weird way. So like traditionally, we look to non-human apes as models for early hominid adaptations, but this discovery and the subsequent research led a lot of anthropologists like Dr. Tim White to question this assumption because guess what? Like there's strange adaptations like knuckle walking, like what? Male aggression common in chimps. There's enlarged canines. There's like bipedalism, but like no, there's a divergent big toe and no arch. There's unmarked sexual dimorphism. There's non-projecting canines. It's weird. Anyways, we're gonna go to afarensis, which is a grass australopith, and it was nicknamed Lucy. I don't know why, but yeah, it is one of the 2 general descriptive groups, and there's smaller front teeth, large back teeth, of course. Okay, well, that's really all there is to that. Okay, so there's Africanus, another grasshopper one, and then there's Paranthropus boise, which is a robust one. Yeah, that looks like it does look like a boise, to be honest. Am I supposed to know how to like classify the skulls? If so, kill me now. Okay, well, we're done with module 6. I'm gonna move on to module 7, and then I can go to school. Goodness. I've been studying this for a while now. It's been tough. Ooh. Oh, there's a career fair. Oh my gosh, people. It's giving Bella Porch is so funny. Anyways. Alright, we're gonna move on to chapter 7. Or module 7. We're gonna be discussing the Pliocene and Pleistocene eras. Alright, so we got early genus Homo. We got Homo people here. Alright. We got 2, but they are often used interchangeably. So give me a second. I just had to get up and stretch for a bit because I've been sitting for an hour, and I don't know. I'm not exactly at my best focus today. I don't know why. It's just like I just can't focus. I'm almost there. I have literally like two more. I got two more lectures to go through, and it's fine. Like I'm about to ace it. I'm about to win. What are you even talking about? I don't even want to look at this. I wanted to go to EDC Orlando, but I don't think it's gonna happen, my guy. Wait, let me look at my. Oh dear, sorry. Oh, well, that's pleasant. I have a bio and a chem exam on the same week. Who would have known? Hey, though. I'm gonna consider this. I'm gonna consider this. Okay. Well, I'm gonna leave it there. And I'm gonna consider that. Okay, wait, give me a second. Let me write it down. Cool. Yeah, but I'd have to leave on Friday. I'd have to leave on Thursday. Okay. Nice. Okay. Well, back to focusing. Okay. Oh, I don't want to go through this because it's like so boring. I don't want to go. I don't want to go through this. You know what? I'm gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna clean up a bit, and then we're gonna go back and we're gonna really focus. I'm gonna clean up and be right back. Like preparing for school, and then once I get like very prepared and I'm ready to like leave, I'm ready to run, I will run. There'll be nothing you could do about it but to watch me run. Sounds. Sorry. I'm checking out songs right now. Chill out. All right. We're getting a little out of hand. It's 9:38 and we were not even like halfway done. Oh, it's not 9:38. Well, it is 9:38. What are you talking about? I'm gonna put my lip gloss on and then we're gonna dash. Why am I finding zero motivation to do this? Okay. You know what I do when I find zero motivation in anything? Like the best method to finding motivation when you have it? Environment change. I'm gonna go eat. I'm gonna go on campus and I'm going to very hone in on all of this information. And I'm not gonna waste any time. I'm just gonna I hate wasting time so much. And it's like I'm wasting time right now because I can't focus. But if I get food and I really hone in on these subjects and I don't have to like stay on stream and try to force myself to focus anymore, I'm going to get it done. But yeah, I'm gonna end my stream right here. I'm gonna go to campus. I'm gonna go eat. I'm gonna go really lock in, and then I'm gonna go take my test. But yeah, wish me luck. Sorry I couldn't like complete the very last module. It's just like I can't do it in my room anymore. It's so bright outside. I'm cold. It doesn't match up. Like I need to go out to get the sun in me, and I need to get some vitamin D. I need to walk. I need to get my steps in. It's just like so many things I need to do, and I'm not getting it done. So I just need a change of atmosphere for a second, and then I'll be able to focus again. But yeah, bye. Wish me luck. Oh, and I will end up with cake if I do well on both of these exams. Bye.